I'm Sarah Stevick. I am the facilitator for this evening. I am the founder and president of Teaching a Path to L&D. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, welcome. Those of you who are returning participants, thank you for coming back. We missed you. I'm joined by the lovely Erin Chancellor. She is going to be our producer this evening. She takes care of the chat and making sure that all questions get answered. She's also our wonderful marketing and social media person. I'm also joined by the fantastic Tyler. And Tyler made this jump from teaching to instructional design as well. And he is available via chat as well. So always happy to share whatever experiences that I have. All of this is based on just industry knowledge and personal experience. Always with any information, I know we're living in a fast-paced world today. Everything is virtual. You can learn anything on the internet, and we all know that everything you see on the internet is 100% true. So it's always very, very important, like super important, words to live by. Trust, but verify, okay? So just because somebody gets up there and says, well, I know all this about this, that's great. But our world is changing all the time. New information becomes available. So double check those resources. Double check the information that you're getting about resumes and portfolios and what's the best way to do that. If you see it pretty consistently throughout and you're getting pretty consistent feedback, then that's probably something that you can trust. If it's something that you hear oddball somewhere randomly and everybody else is like, nah, dude, don't touch that with a 10-foot pole. Just no. Then that might be a good indicator that that might not be the best path forward. Okay? So we're teachers. We know how to do our research. Trust, but verify. Okay? Trust but verify. So with that, today's topic, we're going to get in tools of the trade. So coming in as a teacher, you've probably, worked with a couple different what we call authoring tools. All right, so in this webinar, we will be going over what an authoring tool is. We're going to explore a wide range of tools that are used in the field of learning and development, and there will be time for Q&A at the end. While we're going over some great tools that are available to you, this is by no means a comprehensive list. This is a great starting place. The tools that you see today are going to be the ones that are most widely known and widely used. These are going to be ones that you are most likely to see within a job description. And so yeah, great stuff. So Sarah, can you please tell me what when you say authoring tool, am I writing a book? No, actually you're not writing a book. We don't write books here. Well, I guess you could if you really wanted to, but not in this webinar. So authoring tools and why do you need them? Authoring tools are any software that is used to develop digital content and e-learning. It can be as simple as a Google Doc or as complex as Adobe Captivate. Sorry, Adobe, didn't mean to mix you up with the other authoring tool. It is important to have a general knowledge of these tools to prepare you for interviews and jobs. It's also important to have knowledge of these tools so that you can start making portfolio pieces. Now, we do have a whole nother webinar just on portfolios and what to put in there. But this is something really important that we take away, is that what does it mean to learn an authoring tool? That does not mean that you are the expert and know all the ins and outs, all the tips and tricks. Nobody knows all those, and if they do, they've spent years in that tool, right? Like, think about how familiar you feel with, say, PowerPoint. You probably feel like an expert, but if we're very, very honest with ourselves, we don't know everything there is about PowerPoint. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty PowerPoint savvy, and I'm still learning new things, right? So the main goal of learning these authoring tools is to be able to use them competently enough to create learning materials that are polished and functional. All right? So don't feel like you have to know every little thing there is to know about these tools. Don't feel like you have to learn all of them. And we're going to talk about that on each slide as well. If you try and learn all of them all at the same time, it's not going to go so good. And I say that with the most love and respect and support that I can, but I'm going to tell you it's not going to go so good because there's a lot to learn. All right. So the first set of authoring tools that we're going to talk about are the comprehensive tools. There are many out there, but there are two widely known and widely used in the industry today. The first one is Articulate Storyline, and the second is Adobe Captivate. Both Articulate Storyline and Adobe Captivate are the most known, like I said, and used e-learning software by learning and development roles. They have similar capabilities, but they vary slightly in what the software can handle. Okay. For example, Adobe Captivate can easily import and use any other Adobe product. So if you work in Photoshop or Illustrator, those kind of things, it's easy to pull those into an Adobe Captivate project, which can be great depending on what you're looking for and what you're looking to accomplish. Articulate Storyline seems to be more user-friendly, and you can easily import PowerPoint slides into your course. Though you still need to make a lot of adjustments and tweaks, and not all things in PowerPoint import well, you can still import them and have that base slide to work off of. Both softwares use variables and triggers, and we'll talk a little bit about that, for animations and utilize what's known as a timeline. So if you've ever made any type of video, you'll know that there's a little timeline at the bottom. These tools also have that. You can get a free trial of both. Articulate Storyline has a great 60-day free trial. And then Adobe Captivate has a 30-day free trial. In the slide deck that I send out, I'll have links for both of those. Just so that you know, none of the links in the decks are affiliate links. We don't get any money for telling you about any of these tools or anything. This is pure information. Just wanted to put that out there for you, so don't feel like I'm trying to push you one way or the other. So you can get free trials of both. I suggest already having something in mind that you want to develop before starting your free trial. That way none of the time is wasted. Free trials, we all love free and we know that they are precious. So you go in with a game plan, right? Like if you have a project, you're like, okay, so I'm going to outline everything that I want in it, and then I'm going to start my free trial. And then if you're interested in a more in-depth analysis, both softwares, be sure to click the link on the slide when I send that out. Here's some deets about each one. Articulate Storyline, 60-day free trials. It's okay. Don't freak out. $999 a year. Or if you have a .edu email, you can buy it for $499. Excuse me. Money is hard tonight, apparently. Adobe Captivate, you get a 30-day free trial, and it's $33.99 a month. Now, I hear what's going on in the head right now, because that's what would be going on in my head. I'm hearing, oh my gosh, I'm totally going to go with Adobe Captivate. That way I can pay less. Totally great plan. I love that plan. Except, let's talk it through, okay? Articulate Storyline is a little bit modeled after PowerPoint. So if you're a PowerPoint user, it's going to be more intuitive. It's also more what you call boxed. So it comes with a lot of different preset options, whereas Adobe Captivate, you got to make everything. It is quite the learning curve. If you are already familiar with Photoshop or Illustrator and other Adobe products, you might have a quicker time picking up Adobe Captivate. I'm telling you right now, Articulate Storyline has this learning curve, and Adobe Captivate has this learning curve. So choose wisely. That's what I'll say about that. I'd pick Storyline. Just saying. I'm not swaying you one way or another, but pick Storyline. Unless you're really good with Adobe products. Tyler, do you have anything to add to that?
Sarah, I just typed into the chat that I'm 2.5 years into instructional design work, and I still haven't learned Adobe Captivate, so that's where I stand on it.
Dude, bro, me too. Me too. Yeah, so like, here's the thing. You only need one. You don't have to learn both. You need one. I'm going to tell you right now, you're probably going to see more of Articulate Storyline 360 in job descriptions nowadays because they realize that you can pump out material quicker in it, and it also comes with Rise, which is kind of like Articulate Storyline 360, the light version. It comes with Rise for the same price. So think of Articulate as like a suite of items. Okay, so you would get Rise and 360, and you also get what's called Review 360. So when you publish your items, you can send that link. It's not a separate thing. When you start the free trial, you're starting the free trial for both of them. Okay, so that's important to keep in mind. Again, you don't have to use both of them. Pick one. I highly suggest Articulate Storyline 360. As long as you, like, if you're a PowerPoint user, that's probably the way to go. I do want to mention real quick, how many of y'all are my Mac users? Be honest. Yeah, I see those smiles. It's okay. We accept all computer users here. No judgment. So if you do have a Mac, you have to download something else called Parallels in order to run Articulate Storyline 360. Parallels does come with a 30-day free trial, and I have heard, haven't tried it because I don't have a Mac, but I have heard that if you just keep clicking the ignore button on when the free trial is up, it'll still let you use it. It'll just put up that annoying pop-up box, so you can use it for the full 60 days. But without Parallels, and the older Macs won't download Parallels well. So if you have a Mac, you might have to go with Captivate. Just wanted to let you know. There's that. Okay. That's not to say those are the only comprehensive authoring tools. There's also Lectora, Genially, Rise, RoboHelp, iSpring. They're coming out with new stuff all the time. These are additional e-learning tools you may see in job descriptions. They're less likely to be in job descriptions, but you might. Some may be more popular than others, and you do not need to know them all in order to get a job. The key is just to become familiar with one or two of these authoring tools. You can always learn more later. You can always learn more later, okay? I suggest with all of the tools, pick one at a time. And I don't mean, oh, well, I'll pick to download, Articulate and Camtasia all at the same time, and then I'll go to my next two. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. Next type of tool, video and audio editor tools. These are two heavy hitters, especially right now. Camtasia and Beyond are the most popular video tools on the market at the moment. They are vastly different from each other and have different purposes. Both work off of a timeline. So again, that little thing at the bottom that, well, it has time on it, and it represents how much time has passed. And it's important to have practice manipulating and understanding all the elements in a timeline. Camtasia is used for Camtasia is used for self-paced explainer videos, so instructional videos, right? Most of the time, the developer will go through slides and explain a feature that is important for the team to know or explain a change in a feature. Beyond is more animated, that it's fun to view, but might not necessarily jive with whatever company that you are with. It's important to think about the aesthetic of the company. For example, the company that I work with prefers to have non-animated live depictions of things. Okay. Both are great tutorials, and they offer great excuse me, they both offer great tutorials. So if you want to learn more, definitely check out their websites. Camtasia, that comes with a 30-day free trial, after which you can buy it for a $249 flat fee. You can choose to do the inclusion package of, you get the next year version of it to download for $50 extra. You can also add on Snagit. If you haven't heard of Snagit, it's a beautiful little screen capturing tool. You can do videos and step-by-steps. It's a really neat little tool that's also made by the same people who make Camtasia, and they are called TechSmith. Okay. Beyond, you get a 14-day free trial. This one's a little bit more pricey. We're talking $299 a year for the Essential model and $649 a year for the Premium model. Okay. But what I would say to that, Camtasia is also going to be unique in that you can add in quizzes and interactive videos. So it's almost a more comprehensive tool than just a regular run-of-the-mill video editor. Okay, so it does have some additional capabilities that are quite impressive. We have a question. I already have Camtasia and would love to use it for some portfolio projects. It's definitely easy. What kind of ID projects would you use Camtasia for? That's a great question. So right now in my role, I am making instructional videos on how to use a new software platform that we are adopting. So I use it that way. I also just made 2 little commercials for a couple different things that we're working on to create interest and buy-in. And they were very well received. What I will say about these tools, and this is very important, I know I say everything's very important. I need to come up with a different phrase. This is crucial to remember. Don't slapstick it together and think you made an instructional video. Okay? It's not the same as just putting it in there. There's actually finesse to it. You want it to almost look video quality, like something you would see maybe on a commercial. So definitely look up some how-tos on video production. What are some suggestions on making instructional videos? Sometimes we get in these tools and we just want to put everything in there, right? That doesn't make it good. What makes it good is streamlined, your content is clear, all that. So as tempting as it is to show off all your skills in one little video, use all the tools very wisely. It's like glitter. We love the glitter, but we don't want it all over the paper or our houses. So we use glitter very, very sparingly. It's the same thing here. In addition, I'm going to be very frank with you. Your first project, just like my first project, just like Tyler's first project, it's gonna suck. Like, bad. And that's okay. That's okay. And we all have to start somewhere, right? Because your next project will be better, and the project after that will be better, and then all of a sudden you're a pro, right? So don't be afraid to have that first sucky project. Please do not put that in your portfolio. Your portfolio is reserved for very nice, streamlined, clean items. They don't have to be the fanciest. They just have to be clean, precise, nice. Nicey nice. Okay. All right. Questions about that?
Yeah. What about the fees for Articulate Storyline and Camtasia and all these authoring tools? Will the future employer pay for those licenses and pay for those fees? Or will the instructional designer need to buy them themselves on their own laptop?
That is a fantastic question. So if you are a freelancer, 10-to-1, you will be buying these for yourself. If you work for a corporation or for higher ed, they'll probably pay for one of these and they'll probably choose it for you. So it depends where you work. But for the most part, typically they pay for it. Now, if you're doing a contract position, the interesting thing is when they buy subscriptions to these, they basically buy a package of however many users, and then it comes with a login information, and then you get access to that login information, which would then be deactivated after you were to leave the company. So 10 to 1, you get a laptop. A lot of times you're not able to use those programs for your own personal creating. So for me, I bought Camtasia on my own so that I could have it on my laptop, but I also have it at work, separate licenses. So, great question. Okay.
Do you have time for a couple more, or do you want?
Sure. This one, yep. This one's good. Yeah.
So how do we know when our own projects suck, especially when we're just getting started and feeling vulnerable and self-conscious? And having to put ourselves out there.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I love that question. Thank you for whoever asked that question. I think that's the scariest part about this transition, right? Because we're so used to knowing how to do stuff. We're used to being good at what we do. I'm just telling you right off the bat, that project's going to suck. The first one's going to suck. You don't even need feedback on it. I'm telling you. It will suck. Every project after that, definitely post it in our group, Teaching a Path to L&D, or post it in our Slack channel. We give very candid, supportive feedback with actionable items that you can take. But it's important to remember, too, that you can go online, look up the principles of graphic design, because unlike in teaching, where we're just like, okay, I got to get it all on a slide, and then I'm going to present it because I made this like yesterday, late at night, you know. Unlike that, here, everything has to be aligned. You have to have consistency throughout with your fonts and your animations. We don't want to use any... Cutesy is so much fun. It's so much fun, but it's not corporate, okay? There are such things as professional transitions, professional graphics and animations. So if you have something that's like, bam, 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 yeah, that's not going to go over as well in corporate. They want like that soft, gentle, I'm fading in. Here I am, you're welcome. You know, it's like, think princess wave and not like, hey. Okay, so there's a difference, right? Time and a place. So those first couple of projects are going to be rough, and that's okay. They're meant to be rough. It's a playground. Think of it as play. You're improving. It's your practice. Once you feel like you have something, you're like, you know what? I think this doesn't suck. Go ahead and put it on the Slack channel. Put it on, you know, the LinkedIn group. We are happy to provide feedback. We also have free office hours available on our website. We can talk you if you want to show us a project and you want feedback one-on-one. We're happy to do that. It's all free. And all the feedback that we'll give you, we will definitely give with love and with understanding. We're not here to judge you. We're just here to help. So, great question. Okay, back to that, and we'll take some more questions here in a bit. So there are other movie tools. You guys have probably already used some of these. Powtoons. Yeah, let me get some Powtoons over here. I made a Pokemon Go video with that. Movely or Biteable. Or if you're like me, Bitable. I put the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable. And then we have Screencastify, Movavi, Screencast-O-Matic. And it just keeps going on and on and on. ScreenFlow, ShareX, Snagit, Filmora is a great one as well. So let's talk about audio. So I highly recommend getting a professional mic. Mine looks like this. It's my baby. This is a Blue Yeti. Oh, hi. And yeah, Erin's got hers. That's good. You can get a decent mic for like $50. Now, if you want to hold out and wait until you get hired on with a company and wait to see if they'll pay for a mic, that's cool too. But you can get trust me, it's worth it. because your sound quality is much improved. And you really want to use an audio software to record your sound because you can do more editing with it than, say, like if you recorded it in Camtasia along with your video, you have less editing flexibility. So a great one is Audacity, and it's great because it is for free, and if it's for free, it's for me, right? GarageBand, that is free for those who have Apple products. And then Adobe Audition, they come with a 14-day free trial, and then after that it's $20 a month, which isn't bad. Pro tip, okay? With all the Adobe products, do not download the entire suite for a free trial. Because if you download the whole suite for 14 days, that means it starts the free trial for all of their apps. Don't do that. Download them one at a time so you actually have time to focus on learning the tool and experimenting with the tool. That's right, Debbie. We use that Google. We love the Google. It knows everything. All right. So those are going to be your heavy hitters. Again, you do not need to know all of them. You just need to be able to make instructional videos competently, and you need to make e-learnings competently. Those are going to be those self-paced modules that they walk through that teaches you something without a person being there. Okay? It's like those trainings that you take at the beginning of the year and you're like, gosh, kill me. But we're not going to make trainings like that. We're going to make the fun trainings because we know how to bring the fun because we're teachers. Yeah. So, fun fact, just in case all these facts weren't fun. Fun fact, in instructional design, we do not call them PowerPoints. You know, in teaching, if you put it in a Google slide or in a PowerPoint, it doesn't matter, we call them PowerPoints, right? Not no more. Now we call them slide decks. Yeah, it's very fancy. And that means that you have a deck of slides that is made in PowerPoint or in Google Slides. Like, I don't know why they're so touchy about using the word slide decks versus, oh, it's a PowerPoint. They're like, it's not a PowerPoint, it's a slide deck. I'm like, okay, PowerPoint. But, you know, these are job aid tools. So what is a job aid? So we already talked about what an e-learning is. A job aid is any material that gives information on how to perform a task. So think like an infographic, think like a user guide, a step-by-step, right? Think of those posters that you see in the bathroom to wash your hands. Technically, that's a job aid, okay? Because it helps them perform their task of washing their hands. This can include handouts, a one-pager, lists, worksheets, etc. You've made tons of job aids as a teacher. Don't be afraid to put that on your resume. You can use several tools to create job aids. Among the most popular, of course, we have the Google Suite, so Google Slides, Google Docs, Google Sheets, all the Googles. We have PowerPoint and other Microsoft Office items. And of course, we have the magnificent, lovely Canva. I know we all love Canva. It is the bee's knees. I will say, if you are using Canva or FreePick, or if you're working off of a template and you want to put it on your portfolio, please do not just fill in information into a provided template and put it up on your portfolio, because anybody can do that. It does not show your design skills. You have to change the color, use it for inspiration, right? So change around the colors, change the fonts, move the placements, pick your own icons. Don't just take it out of the box, because if you present that to a potential employer, they're going to think you don't know how to design because you showed them what somebody else made, right? So it's really important to put your own personal design spin on whatever you make. Tyler, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I'm just wondering, like, how common is it for teachers to use Canva these days? I've been out of the classroom for a couple of years.
Most of them know. Yeah, that's right.
That's awesome.
Slides Go, that's also another great one free pick, all that jazz. So let's talk cost. Google Slides, that's the beautiful thing about Google. It is free. It is limited in what it can do, but it is free, so we'll give it that. PowerPoint, that's $139.99 flat fee, and then it's yours. Canva basic version is free. If you want the Pro, it's $12.95 a month, and I've heard it's well worth it. I personally have not invested in it because this is a real sad day. My company doesn't allow it because you edit it online and they're afraid of who can access that computer-wise. So if you work for a company where confidential proprietary information is a thing, be prepared, Canva might not be available to you. Wah, 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 wah. I know, it's sad. I know. We will all mourn. There's others. We also have SlidesGo, Envato, Prezi. You can actually use more of the same tools when you create slide decks as you do for creating job aids. I often use PowerPoints and Google Slides in order to have more flexibility in how I arrange things. I've used it to make, I take screenshots and I put little numbers, so I use step-by-step user guides in there. So for me, I've made infographics in Google Slides. It's great. So you're only limited by your imagination. Yep. Okay, so before we actually get into Q&A, that was a teaser, huh? I do want to talk about supplemental tools, or AKA auxiliary tools. Fancy. These are tools that are not necessarily like authoring tools. These help you make what you author awesome. My personal favorite is Flat Icon. You can download all the free icons for free. And you can change all the colors of them. You can choose the styles. This is really important. I see this is a very, very common mistake that many people make moving from teaching into instructional design. They lack consistency in the types of icons that they use. So in other words, the icons don't look like they match. If you use an outline icon, so it just has an outline, no fill, for one picture, you need to use that same type of icon all the way throughout. It's a consistency thing. It's a visual thing. So keep that in mind when you're designing. Pexels. Oh, I love Pexels. They give full free pictures. And it's Creative Commons, so you don't have to give attribution. You can also get what we call stock video. So little video clips that you can put into your Camtasia projects and all that jazz. There's a whole bunch of really great tools, auxiliary tools out there. Be sure that whatever pictures you use, they're either Creative Commons or they are free to use as long as you give attribution, so you cite where they're from. To avoid that, I would use like Pexels or Unsplash. Here's another fun tip. In PowerPoint, if you go to insert picture and then you click like from online, it automatically has that little box check that says Creative Commons. So oftentimes I'll just have PowerPoint open and I'll download pictures right off there because it's easy and I know that it's good for me to use in any of my things. Q Prompter, dude, this is pretty sweet. It's free, of course. All these are free. But Q Prompter, you know when you like are doing a video and you're like trying to remember what you're trying to say? That's gone in the past. Q Prompter, it literally puts it right under your camera, and just like they do on the TV, it has like the little scrolling thing and you can change the speed and all of that. It's so cool. You feel just like Bob Parker. Price is Right. Miss him. Anyway, font meme, that's another good one. Don't just stick with your regular fonts. Jazz it up with some font meme. See, I can do commercials. But what Font Meme does is you can basically download any font that you've seen in video games or movies. So if you're trying to go for a really cool style, like, you know, you're like, oh, I'm going to make like a murder mystery, go get like the dripping blood one off of Font Meme. Fonts matter. Free sound. This is an excellent place to get free music and sound effects. Also, I think it's called Benny Sound. Ben Sound. One of those. It's amazing too. Easy GIF. You can take any video and you can make it into a GIF. You can choose it to loop. You can choose it to replay several times and then stop. It's a really great tool. Last but not least, we have ColorMind. This helps you generate color palettes and gives you ideas with complementary colors. Another one that I don't have up here, but I think it's important for you all to be aware of. You know, accessibility is very important. We want to make sure that when we design things, we are conscientious about who we are designing for. Many of people in our populations have visual impairments or colorblind things, and so we really want to make sure to put them through what's called a contrast checker. Contrastchecker.com, I think, is a free one. But it basically makes sure that all the colors that you are using are friendly to the eyes. Some colors, and some may or may not be aware of this, some colors can actually cause seizures. It can cause strokes. So it's important to be very cognizant for colors. Erin put the link in the chat, but you could also Google it. Also, in addition to that, we should really strive to make sure that we also have closed captioning and be cognizant of screen readers. So a lot of people with visual impairments, they use technology. It's called JAWS, or I know Apple reads the screen as well. So if you always kind of want to see how that would play out. If somebody was trying to access your content, because some things in the way you would design it might not be accessible to the screen reader, and it might make the content unavailable. So always be kind of thinking about those things. And to Donald's question, do you do audio descriptive in ID? Yes, we definitely do. We also do closed captioning, and we do transcripts for videos as well. Just like in education, we are legally required to provide accommodations for those who have specific learning needs, okay? So make sure, because the fact that you know about that and can speak to that and say, here's how I incorporated that in my design, here's how I was thinking about that for all of my end users, that's going to do very well for you in selling your skill set as well. Yes, Donald, yay! VI students all day, yeah. Oh. But yeah, so I'm going to show my attribution page. Yeah, this slide deck was done by Slides Go. I did not make this slide deck. So if you have any questions, transitioning to id@gmail.com. Our website is www.teachlearndev.org. We also have our excellent Slack channel. We also have, just so that you know, our book club is getting up and off the ground for ID Book Club. That's on our Slack channel. We actually have the author of Design for How People Learn on deck to answer your questions, which is pretty cool. So make sure that you're coming in, getting in the conversation. Look, it's going to be very scary and it's going to be uncomfortable. But change and things that you want don't come from staying comfortable. They come from pushing boundaries, and they come from pushing yourself to try new things and putting yourself out there. And some days, like me, you're going to come home and cry and eat your Ben & Jerry's and drink your wine. And that's okay, because you know the next day you're going to get up and you're going to do it again. You're going to be like, yeah,